Here lately, all the talk has been about Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. But where are the world's richest women at? Well, don't worry, because we're here to tell you all about them. In fact, the richest woman in the world just might surprise you, and trust me, her fortune puts most billionaires to shame. But before we get started, make sure that you subscribe and click the bell. That way you're notified when we post a new video. Number 10. Iris Fontbona, $22.6 billion. Iris was born in 1942 and attended Catholic high school through her younger years. At the young age of 17, she met Andronico Luksic-Abaro, who was 15 years older than her. The two married just 3 years later when she was 20, and they had 3 children of their own. Andronico Luksic went on to build a fortune in mining and beverages before dying of cancer in 2005. He left his businesses to Iris and their 3 sons. Iris and her family control the Santiago-based mining company Antofagasta. In 2013, Iris controlled 65% of the company. They also control Banco de Chile and Medeco, a copper products manufacturer. They also control the company's largest brewer, CCU, and a shipping company, CSAV. CSAV is actually the world's 16th largest shipping company. Even after her husband's death, Iris managed to grow her husband's companies and caused the businesses to reach new heights. Another one of her businesses is a pair of luxury hotel chains and a luxury resort in Croatia. Shortly after her husband's death, one of her first major actions was to acquire 70% stake in the Chilean television station Canal 13. She is now the 74th richest person in the world. Number 9. Gina Rinehart, $23.8 billion. Gina is an Australian mining magnate and heiress. She is the executive chairman of the privately owned mineral exploration and extraction company Hancock Prospecting, which was founded by her father, Lang Hancock. She dropped out of college to work with her father at Hancock Prospecting. She was an only child, so when her father died in 1992, the company was passed down to her. Unfortunately, the company was bankrupt and had several financial difficulties, but Gina managed to turn the company around, and it is now one of the largest mining houses in the world. When Gina took over Hancock Prospecting, the company's total wealth was $75 million, which didn't even account for group liabilities and contingent liabilities. She managed to grow the company in such a remarkable way, and due to the iron ore boom in the early 2000s, Gina became a billionaire in 2016. She then began to expand her holdings into areas outside of the mining industry. She invested in 10 Network Holdings and Fairfax Media. She also became a player in agriculture by buying several cattle stations. In fact, she is the second largest cattle producer in Australia. Today, she is the 70th richest person in the world. Number 8. Susan Claddon, $30.4 billion. Susan studied marketing and management at the University of Buckingham and went on to get her MBA from IMD Business School in Lausanne, specializing in advertising. When her father died, she inherited his 50.1% stake in the pharmaceutical and chemicals manufacturer Altana. She has helped transform the company into a world-class corporation in the German DAX list of top 30 companies. Today, Susan is the sole owner and deputy chair of Altana, which has more than $2.5 billion in annual sales. Her father also left her a 12.5% stake in BMW. Following her mother's death in 2015, her stake in BMW is now 19.2%. In addition to that, she also holds stakes in Entrust, a company that specializes in digital identity and data security. She also holds stakes in carbon and graphite producer SGL Group. And if that isn't impressive enough for you, she founded an innovation center at Technical University of Munich, which claims to be the leading center for business creation in Germany. She is currently the 53rd richest person in the world. Number 7. Yang Huiyan, $35.1 billion. Yang owns 57% of real estate developer Country Garden Holdings, a stake largely transferred to her by her father in 2007. Her father started the real estate company in 1997, and today Country Garden's initial offering raised about $1.6 billion, or as much as Google raised in 2004. Yang is vice chairman of the board's governance committee and helped raise $410 million selling new shares in 2014. Yang also chairs Bright Scholar Education Holdings, a Chinese education company that went public on the New York Stock Exchange in 2007. In addition to that, she graduated in 2003 with a Bachelor of Arts and Science at Ohio State University. She is still very young at only 39 years old, and she is the 50th richest person in the world. Number 6. Jacqueline Mars, $31.7 billion. Jacqueline went to boarding school in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and then went on to graduate from Bryn Mawr College in 1961. Today, Jacqueline owns about 1/3 of Mars, the world's largest candy maker. The company was founded by her grandfather in 1911. In fact, it was her grandfather and her father who invented the Milky Way bar in 1923. Jacqueline served on the candy company's board until 2016, and she worked for the company for nearly 20 years. She is also a well-known philanthropist. She serves on 6 boards, including the Smithsonian and the National Archives. Jacqueline also owns a horse farm in Virginia that has trained horses ridden by Olympic medalists. She is currently the 48th richest person in the world. Number 5. Miriam Adelson, $36.5 billion. Miriam was born in Tel Aviv and eventually came to the United States and met Sheldon Adelson while studying at Rockefeller University, and the two married in 1991. Miriam is now the widow of Sheldon Adelson, who died in January 2021. Sheldon was the CEO and chairman of the casino company Las Vegas Sands. She now owns more than half of the $48 billion gambling empire, which has casinos in Macau, Singapore, and Las Vegas. Her and her husband were big donors in the 2020 presidential elections and donated $180 million to the Republican campaigns. In addition to that, Miriam was actually born in Israel and became a medical doctor focusing on addiction. In fact, her and her husband founded a research clinic in Las Vegas which treats people for opioid use disorder. Miriam is also the current publisher of the newspaper Israel Hayom. She is currently the 36th richest person in the world and the richest Israeli in the world. Number 4. Julia Koch, $46.9 billion. Originally from Iowa, Julia moved to New York City in the 1980s and worked as an assistant to the fashion designer Adolfo. She soon started to work with high-profile clients, including First Lady Nancy Reagan. Julia ended up meeting David Koch on a blind date in 1991, and the two later married in 1996. Due to her husband's passing in August of 2019, she and her 3 children inherited a 42% stake in Koch Industries. Before her husband died, she and her husband donated $10 million to Mount Sinai Medical Center and $10 million to Stanford Children's Hospital to study food allergies. Julia is currently the 27th richest person in the world. Number 3. MacKenzie Scott, $56.9 billion. MacKenzie is known for her marriage and high-profile divorce from Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, who is currently the richest man in the world. She also helped Bezos start Amazon in 1994. After 25 years of marriage, MacKenzie and Jeff divorced in mid-2019. As part of the divorce settlement, Jeff transferred 25% of his Amazon stake, which was 4% of the company, over to MacKenzie. Shortly after the divorce, she signed the Giving Pledge. The Giving Pledge was founded by Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and helps to encourage extremely wealthy people to contribute a majority of their wealth to philanthropic causes. In fact, MacKenzie has been so generous with her wealth that in July 2020, she announced that she had given nearly $1.7 billion to 119 nonprofit groups. MacKenzie is also an author. She wrote The Testing of Luther Albright, for which she won an American Book Award in 2006. She said it took her 10 years to write because she was so heavily involved in helping her then-husband start Amazon and raise a family. Her second novel, Traps, was published in 2013. She is now remarried to high school chemistry teacher Dan Jewett. MacKenzie is currently the 22nd richest person in the world. Number 2. Alice Walton, $66.7 billion. Alice is the only daughter of Walmart founder Sam Walton. Unlike her other siblings Jim and Rob, who spend their time running Walmart, Alice prefers to focus her energies on the arts. In 2011, she opened the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art in Bentonville, Arkansas. Even as a young girl, she would enjoy watercolor painting with her mother on camping trips. She graduated from Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas, with a BA in economics. In 1988, she founded Llama Company, an investment bank, where she was president, chairwoman, and CEO. She also played a part in the development of the Northwest Arkansas Regional Airport, which opened in 1998. She provided $15 million in the initial funding of the construction. Because of her significant contribution, they named the terminal the Alice L. Walton Terminal Building, and she was also inducted into the Arkansas Aviation Hall of Fame in 2001. Today, Alice is currently the 17th richest person in the world. Before we move on to number 1, make sure that you share this video with a friend. It really does help out the video and we appreciate it. Now on to the richest woman in the world. Number 1, Francoise Bettencourt Myers, $89.1 billion. Francoise is the granddaughter of the founder of the worldwide makeup company L'Oreal. She and her family own about 33% of the L'Oreal stock. She has served on the L'Oreal board since 1997, and when her mother died in 2017, Francoise became France's reigning L'Oreal heiress. She also serves as the president of her family's philanthropic foundation, which encourages French progress in the sciences and the arts. Francoise and her family agreed to donate $226 million to repair the Notre Dame Cathedral after the April 2019 fire. She is also a writer and has authored a book on the Greek gods and another with commentary on the Bible. And she's also done works on Jewish-Christian relations. In 2008, she sued François-Marie Beignet for taking her money from her mother and trying to take her fortune. She started proceedings to have her mother declared as mentally incompetent. It was later announced in 2020 that Francoise had settled out of court with Beignet. She is currently the 12th richest person in the world and the richest woman in the world, with her whopping inheritance of $89.1 billion. All of these women have a combined net worth of $439.7 billion. What do you think of these rich women? Comment down below and let us know who your favorite is. Also, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe and click the bell. That way you're notified when we post a new video. Thanks so much for watching and we'll see you next time.